Welcome back to Doggo Data. We're jumping right back into those canine careers today.
Yeah, today we're going to get into some pretty interesting comparisons.
Exactly. Last time we really mapped out that whole journey to becoming a veterinarian. You know, all the steps, all that education, the commitment, the whole 9 yards. But this time we're going to zoom in on a slightly different path, the world of vet techs.
It's interesting, right? Both professions are totally rooted in animal care, but how you actually get there and what your day-to-day looks like, those can be dramatically different.
Yeah, that's what we're here to unpack today. So first things first, education. What does training even look like for an aspiring vet tech compared to the long, long haul of vet school?
Well, for those aspiring vet techs, the most common route is a 2-year program, an associate's degree from an AVMA-accredited veterinary technology program.
2 years. Whoa, that's a pretty stark contrast to the 8 years it takes to become a veterinarian. That difference alone kind of tells you something, right?
Absolutely. It highlights a key difference, the balance of academic study versus hands-on experience. Now, some states, like Maryland, offer what's called an alternate route to becoming a registered veterinary technician.
Ooh, alternate route. Okay, so what's the catch?
It's not a shortcut, that's for sure. You still need a solid academic foundation, like an associate's degree or higher, but with very specific science coursework, things like biology, anatomy, and physiology.
So you can't just, waltz in with any old degree. They want to make sure you've got that science background.
Precisely. But here's where it gets interesting. On top of that education, the alternate route in Maryland requires a whopping 10,000 hours of on-the-job experience. That's years of working in the field.
10,000 hours. Whoa, that's dedication. It makes you wonder if for some people, that hands-on learning might even be more valuable than years in a classroom.
It's a great point. It really speaks to the practical nature of this profession. And to further emphasize that hands-on focus, they also require proof of continuing education 24 hours worth and 24 hours of experience specifically in emergency veterinary care.
Wow, that's serious commitment.
Yep.
So for anyone considering this path, especially in Maryland, be prepared to really immerse yourself in the field.
Exactly. Now, here's a little wrinkle for our listeners in California. They also have an alternate route, but no degree is specifically mentioned.
Wait, really? So in California, you could potentially become a vet tech without a college degree?
It appears that way. The requirements focus heavily on experience, 4,416 hours to be exact, along with that targeted science coursework we mentioned earlier. It definitely points to the value placed on practical skills.
Interesting. So for anyone out there who loves animals and thrives in a hands-on environment, the vet tech path, especially in California, might be worth a closer look.
Now, regardless of which path you choose, both aspiring vet techs and future veterinarians have to face a pretty significant hurdle, licensing exams.
Ah, yes, the dreaded exams. I can practically feel the test anxiety creeping in already.
For vet techs, it's the Veterinary Technician National Exam, or VTNE for short. It's a standardized test, designed to assess their knowledge and skills.
And I'm guessing there's an equally challenging exam for those aspiring veterinarians.
Absolutely. They face the North American Veterinary Licensing Examination, or the NAVL. It covers a vast amount of information and is known for being, quite rigorous.
So no matter which path you choose, you're going to be hitting the books pretty hard. But here's something I find really interesting. Both vet techs and vets need to engage in continuing education throughout their careers to maintain their licenses.
That's a fantastic point, and I think it speaks to the ever-evolving nature of veterinary medicine. The learning never really stops.
Exactly. Both professions require dedication to staying updated with the latest advancements in animal care.
Which makes me wonder, if we were to compare the day-to-day realities of these two roles, what are some of the key differences we'd see?
Ooh, good question. Let's dive into that next.
Before we jump into the day-to-day, I want to touch on something that really struck me while we were prepping for this deep dive.
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me. What's got you thinking?
It's the emotional intelligence required in both these roles.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we talk about education, exams, all the skills, but what about the heart?
Yeah, that's a great point. You can't exactly teach compassion in a textbook.
Exactly. Think about it. Both vet techs and veterinarians are dealing with animals who can't articulate what's wrong, and often with owners who are, stressed and worried. It takes a special kind of person.
Totally. Okay, so now I'm even more curious about what a typical day actually looks like for each profession.
All right, let's start with the vet techs. They're the true hands-on heroes of the animal care world.
Okay, paint me a picture. What are they doing?
All right, imagine you're a vet tech. You walk into the clinic, and your first patient is a wiggly golden retriever pup coming in for a checkup.
Oh, I love golden retrievers.
Right, so you're taking their temperature, listening to their heartbeat, and making sure they're comfortable during the exam.
Okay, I can practically hear that happy puppy panting.
Totally. And then later that day, you might be assisting the veterinarian during, say, a spay surgery. You're prepping the surgical instruments, monitoring the patient's vital signs, and just making sure everything is sterile and in place. It's a dynamic role that demands a broad skill set.
For sure. It sounds like they need to be adaptable, quick on their feet, and have a knack for calming those nervous pups and their owners.
Exactly. And they're often the primary point of contact for pet owners, explaining procedures, answering questions, and offering reassurance. They have to be skilled communicators and have a genuine love for working with both animals and people.
So it's not just about technical skills, it's also about building trust and rapport.
Precisely. Now, shifting gears to the veterinarians, they're the ones responsible for making those, big decisions about an animal's care.
So if vet techs are the hands-on heroes, the vets are the, brilliant strategists.
I like that analogy. They're analyzing test results, diagnosing illnesses, and developing those all-important treatment plans. They need a deep understanding of animal physiology, pharmacology, and all those medical terms that can make your head spin.
Yeah, no kidding. So are they mostly in the office, poring over charts and x-rays?
Not necessarily. They might be performing a complex surgery 1 minute and then consulting with a worried pet owner the next. They need a diverse skill set. Analytical thinking, surgical dexterity, and of course, excellent communication.
It sounds like both roles have their own, unique demands and rewards.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm still curious about is the salary difference. You mentioned earlier that vets earn significantly more than vet techs.
Yeah, and that difference often boils down to education and the level of responsibility. Veterinarians invest a lot more time and money in their education, and they carry the ultimate burden of making those, critical decisions about an animal's health.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're essentially trusting them with your, furry family member's well-being.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that both professions are vital to animal care. It's not a competition, it's a collaboration.
I love that perspective. Each role contributes something, unique and valuable to the overall well-being of animals.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, before we move on, I'm curious to hear what's resonating with our listeners. What surprised you the most about the vet tech versus vet comparison? Head down to the comments and let us know. We always love hearing your thoughts.
Yes, chime in. Your insights are always valuable to us. And speaking of different paths, in our next episode, we're sipping outside the vet clinic.
Yeah.
We're going to be exploring some alternative careers where you can still work with dogs.
Yeah. It's a whole different world out there.
I know, right?
Yes.
We've been laser focused on the, veterinary side of things, but there's so many other ways to turn your passion for pups into a fulfilling career. I mean, think about it. Groomers, trainers, even those, incredible search and rescue handlers, they're all making a difference in the lives of dogs every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And who knows, maybe we'll uncover a dream job that some of our listeners haven't even considered yet. Personally, I'm fascinated by the world of dog training, the communication, the bond, the positive reinforcement techniques. It's amazing what skilled trainers can accomplish.
Yeah. And what's interesting, even as we explore these, other careers, a lot of the core skills we've been talking about today still apply. Patience, communication, problem solving.
That's a great point. Whether you're a vet tech, a veterinarian, a groomer, or a trainer, you need a deep understanding of canine behavior and a willingness to keep learning and growing. That's something that's been really evident throughout our deep dive today. Both the vet tech and veterinarian paths require a commitment to, lifelong learning, which in a way makes them perfect for people who love dogs, right? We're always learning new things from our canine companions. So why not make that a part of your career too?
Exactly. It's a beautiful synergy.
Okay, before we officially wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought to chew on. Throughout this episode, we've compared and contrasted the vet tech and veterinarian roles, highlighting the differences in education, responsibilities, and even salary. But at the end of the day, both paths share a common goal: improving the lives of animals.
Beautifully put.
So as you consider your own journey into the world of dog-related careers, ask yourself this. What kind of impact do you want to make? What are you most passionate about? Do you see yourself providing that, hands-on care as a compassionate vet tech working side by side with animals every day? Or does your heart, yearn for the challenge and responsibility of being a veterinarian, making those crucial decisions about an animal's health and well-being?
And remember, those aren't the only options out there. There's a whole spectrum of, fulfilling careers out there, each with its unique contribution to the canine world. We'll be exploring more of those next time, so be sure to tune in for that.
Yes, definitely join us for that. But for now, we'll sign off, leaving you with that question to ponder. What's your unique contribution to the wonderful world of dogs?
Thank you for joining us on another Doggo Data Deep Dive.
And if you enjoyed this episode, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more tail-waggingly good content. We'll see you next time.